Good morning, Clearview. It's good to be with you today. These truly are unusual times. I mean, who would have thought in Christmas 2019 that in March 2020 we would have to practice social distancing in our church? It's a lot like 9/11. Vanessa and I used to sit outside and watch the stars at night, and we could identify commercial airline flights going over. Those going to the west were going to Dallas, and those that were going to the east directly overhead, they were going to Atlanta. And if they were a little north of us going east, they were going to Nashville. But after 9/11, the strangest things, there were no planes. I mean, sometimes we'd see these very, very fast military planes flying over, and they would be going southwest to Austin, Texas, to the Air Force Base down there. A few years ago, some friends of ours gave us a plaque with a quote from the book of Esther that who knows, but you come to the kingdom but for such a time as this. Well, this last week, Vanessa and I were sitting on the porch, and she was playing a song. I'd heard it for many months, but I did not know the words. And I asked her to put the words on the screen, and she passed me the phone, and I listened to it, and I said, that is a perfect song. It's for just such a time as this. That's what I want to use in my lessons for Sunday. And the chorus goes, Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, that's what you are. And the last verse goes, even when I can't see it, you're working. Even when I can't feel it, you're working. You never stop. You never stop working. And church, in times like these, I want us to remember the words from this song and how Bible-based they are. Our God is a waymaker. When God, in the flesh of Jesus Christ, walked on this earth, wherever he went, he was a waymaker. When he saw 10 lepers, not just one impossible case, but 10 impossible cases at once, he found a way and healed all 10. And then when he and his disciples were crossing the sea, a storm came up. The Bible says that the waves came in the boat. I don't know about you, but I've been out in the ocean when the waves were coming in the boat. And I got news for you. I was worried. It said that Jesus was in the stern of the boat asleep. The disciples woke him. He stood up, rebuked the wind. And I like what the Message says in its translation. It said the wind ran out of breath. Our Jesus found a way. When the boat got to the bank, there was a demon-possessed man. Not one demon, not 10, not 100, not even just 1,000, but legion, which is several thousand. And the Bible tells us that he was bound many times with rope, bound with chains, and they wouldn't hold him. It said people would go around that part of the country just to avoid where he was. But you know what? Jesus found a way. He cast out the demons, and the Bible closes that story by saying that he was sitting in his right mind. Our God always finds a way because he is a waymaker. He's a miracle worker. Whether it's lepers or a woman that's had a blood issue problem for 12 years, or paraplegics, or people who can't see, or people who can't speak. He has the power to heal them. And in the midst of this virus, we need to remember that in World War I, World War II, and 9/11, our God was there doing what he needed to do. And just as God parted the sea and the Israelites passed on dry land, God will make a way for us. Do you need some kind of help or miracle in your life? Remember, our God is a miracle worker, but he is also a promise keeper. Never once has he broken his word. He always does what he says he will do. And he is light in the darkness. This world is a dark, dark, dark place. John's gospel tells us the story of Jesus, and it basically does so by telling us that he is light and he is life. So even in a dark, dark world, during dark, dark times, our God is a beacon of light shining to help us. And finally, our God never sleeps or slumbers. He knows what's going on with us. Some of you are worried, maybe tired and scared with all that's going on right now. We serve a God who never sleeps or slumbers. We serve a God who never gets tired, but is always looking over us. Jesus said of the Father in the Sermon on the Mount that if God knows when a sparrow falls to the ground, doesn't he much more know what's happening to you, his child? Just when you feel like you can't make it, just when you feel like you can't take another step, our God never stops working. And I want to close with a few words from Paul's letter to the church at Colossae. It's found in Colossians 3 and verse 15. There Paul says, "Let the peace of God rule in your hearts." And when Paul is telling us what he's trying to say is, rather than throwing in the towel or giving in to our fears or letting our emotions run away with us or venting our frustrations, we should let God's peace rule in our life. God uses a great word, rule, a word that describes refereeing or umpiring an athletic game. And that verse could be translated, let the peace of God call the shots in your life. Let the peace of God be the umpire in your life and actions. Let the peace of God act as a referee to your emotions and all your decisions. So I want to encourage you in these times of the virus and all the changing things going on in our society and in this country. I want you to be encouraged to let the peace of God rule or be the referee of everything going on in your life. Let God's peace control your actions, and your life will be a lot better. Don't let things on the internet, don't let the news guide and control you, but rather let God's peace rule and referee your life. Thank you. I'm looking forward to seeing you again next week, and I really am looking forward to the time we can meet together again in our building, and we can be together and fellowship with God. You have a great day.